Time for this week's Happier at Home with Deb Marcello. This morning, we're continuing a talk from last week. Deb covered preparing your last will and testament. This morning, we're talking about avoiding probate. Deb, good morning to you.
Good morning, my friend. How are you?
I'm doing well. Always good to see you. All right, let's start for people who don't know what probate is and why you want to avoid it.
Sure. Well, probate can be very expensive between fees for attorneys, appraisers, court fees, things like that. But the purpose of probate, and it's necessary sometimes, is that it's a process to be sure that the wishes are respected, that their legitimate debts are paid, and that if there's any property to be distributed, then probate helps with that process. And if we can avoid probate, that is favorable because, and there are times that you can, sometimes you can't. But really the key is to plan in advance because you really need to be able to talk with your attorney and make these changes in advance. So then once you die, everything goes smoothly.
Yeah,
for your family.
Planning to avoid that.
Yes.
All right, so let's start with some ways to avoid probate. Number one, joint ownership with right of survivorship. What's that?
So this is a way that you could actually transfer assets at the time of death. It's cost effective, it's easy. So we're talking about items such as some real estate. If you're a married couple, it's easy to be able to have both of your names on your real estate. And then if one dies, it will be passed to the other. But there are ways with other assets, such as cars and boats, different property, and some bank accounts and stocks as well. So this is a way, even once that person dies, if you have a trusted person that's on the bank account, this bank account won't be frozen when that person dies. It will just be transferred into the other person's name, thereby allowing them to settle some of your debts. Maybe if there are funeral expenses, things like that that aren't planned for in advance, that bank account can be accessed for that.
Let's talk about death deeds. What can those do?
So this is so that the deed to a property automatically then transfers to their heir upon their death. So, you know, it's different in every state with who can use some of these tools. So, like I said, best to get an attorney involved, but you can go to your attorney and say, my goal is really to avoid probate as much as possible. And attorneys do make money for probate. So keep an eye out on these things and make sure that your wishes in advance are being respected in that regard.
You can also do
probate.
Yeah, you can also do beneficiary designations for a number of different things, right?
Yeah, and this is something that is another easy thing, but if you have usually so things like life insurance policies, if you have retirement plans, annuities, health savings accounts too, some stock options. Some of these, now life insurance, you think about putting a beneficiary down, but some of these others, if you're not sure when you established your retirement account, for example, go back, make sure that your beneficiaries are designated. If things have changed in your life and you want to be sure the right person is on your person or people are on your designation for your beneficiaries, it's a good time to do that because then those accounts then are transferred to that person and it does not need to go through probate.
Yeah. All right, we're running out of time, but I'll just mention quickly the last thing you could do is trust. There are a number of different trusts you could do as well, all good ways to avoid probate. And the lesson here, Deb, is plan ahead and make sure everything is all lined up in the eventuality of your death so that your family does not have to deal with a lot of these issues, right?
Always. Yes. Plan ahead and research and know your questions and the points that you want to talk with the attorney about.
Yeah. Deb, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.